Hello and hello. Welcome back to the Undisputed Champ YouTube boxing channel. Apologies for the small hiatus, but we're back, we're better, and let's get into the video of today. Today we're talking about AJ Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk for the 3 major world title belts at heavyweight. We have a fight. This is going to be at Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. It's a 60k plus seater, and yeah, AJ and Matchroom and his team and Oleksandr Usyk and their team, they've done it. They've put it together. It's going to be one of the biggest fights in the UK coming out of the pandemic, coming out of lockdown. And tickets are already sold out, according to Eddie and StubHub, but tickets have sold out. Looking at AJ first, he's probably been the most consistent and one of the most active heavyweights in the division. He's not ducked anyone. His resume is clear of everybody else. And it's going to be a really good fight for him. He's an Olympic gold medalist along with Oleksandr Usyk. And he's probably got one of the toughest mental attitudes, one of the toughest mentals in the division. And that's very important, especially for a champion. You have to be tough mentally. He suffered a defeat to Andy Ruiz, and that could have broken a lot of people because not only, I'm assuming he wasn't expecting to lose that fight, but a lot of the people that supported him changed up on him after that fight. And a lot of people wanted to see him lose. A lot of people were preying on his downfall. And that could have really affected someone who was mentally weak. But AJ, to give him props, he was mentally strong and he took an immediate rematch with Ruiz and he got the W. It wasn't the most exciting AJ performance, but he did what he had to do to get the W. And that takes mental toughness to go back in there with someone who stopped you and to go and get the win. Clear, unanimous decision win. So I'll give him props for that. But one question I still do have about AJ is, how good is his chin? Me personally, I think his chin is a bit shaky because Ruiz he's not a top 5, probably not a top 10 heavyweight puncher. And he managed to stop AJ and have AJ rocked all around the ring. So that does raise big questions about AJ's chin. But only, I guess, a strong heavyweight puncher will be able to expose the chin. And I'm not sure if Oleksandr Usyk is that guy. Moving on to Usyk. Wow. This guy's resume at cruiserweight, incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's an undisputed champion at cruiserweight in 15 fights. 15 fights, guys. He won all his world title belts away from home. And then to cap it all off, he even took out Tony Bellew as his last cruiserweight fight. The guy's record and resume at cruiserweight, incredible. It's second only to Evander Holyfield, who goes down as probably the #1 cruiserweight of all time and the top 10 heavyweight of all time. So that's excellent company. That's all-time great company. And Usyk is an all-time great at cruiserweight. So all I can do is give him his props, give him his flowers. To be honest, I wish he stayed at cruiserweight more and just dominate the division for the next 10 years. But, you know, the cruiserweight's never been a money division. So he stepped up to the money division of heavyweight. And now he's got a shot at 3 belts at once. So I guess whoever's handling him, they're doing a good job. They're doing a very good job. Usyk has had 2 fights at heavyweight. One with Chaz Witherspoon. Didn't look great. I'll give him a little bit of a bye because it was a long time between fights, between his Bellew fight and Chaz Witherspoon. But disappointing fight. And then he fought Derek Chisora. Got the UD, but Chisora did put him under pressure in parts and started to gas late on. I didn't think Usyk handled Chisora the best. But he did get the W. And Chisora is a big he's a strong, bullish heavyweight. And Usyk didn't really allow himself to get bullied. Going into the AJ fight, I think Usyk has got advantages. Foot speed, he's going to have the advantage coming from a lower weight. Hand speed is going to have the advantage coming from a lower weight. Boxing IQ, way clear of AJ. Even though him and AJ are Olympic gold medalists, Usyk is a lot smoother than AJ. One of the smoothest, to be honest, in the higher weights. One of the smoothest. Usyk's boxing IQ, again, greater than AJ's. I've seen him maneuver himself into positions, get punches off and maneuver out before the opponent even knew what was going on. Like Usyk's backed the opponent into a corner, landed a 1-2 as the opponent's trying to figure out where Usyk might pivot out to. He's landed another punch and then pivoted out. Excellent stuff. I think he's a really exciting boxer to watch. And yeah, his boxing IQ is clear, super clear. A couple of disadvantages he does have though. He's small. And he has packed on a bit more weight and a bit more muscle, but he's still very small at the weight. He doesn't look to punch that hard. I know he stopped Witherspoon, but Witherspoon overweight, they didn't really come to win the fight. Derek Chisora never really looked close to stopping Chisora. So it doesn't seem to punch that hard. And that's one of AJ's weaknesses. If he comes up against a hard puncher and his chin is suspect, that could be what finds him out. So, but I don't think Usyk carries that sort of puncher power. Also, Usyk, even though he's done the 12 at both heavyweight fights, he hasn't looked the freshest at the end of the fight. And that was one of his go-tos at cruiserweight. He'd always look fresh at the end of the fight. So maybe that extra weight is starting to tire him down, starting to weigh him down. So yeah, that's another disadvantage going for Usyk, handling the weight, carrying the weight effectively. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to come down to, can AJ pressure and dominate Usyk and just land his big bombs early, disrupt Usyk's game plan from day dot and potentially get him out there? Or can Usyk turn it into a chess match, a boxing match, and then just outslick and outbox AJ and make AJ look silly in there? Have AJ lunging, slipping punches, have AJ looking a bit like robotic in there? Can Usyk do that? It's going to be a battle of the minds, battle of the who's done the most prep. Who has studied their opponent and said, I'm imposing my will on you and you're not going to impose your will on me. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to be picking my winner, making my pick a bit closer to the fight. Just want to see how the training camps sort of fall into place, because you can get bits from the training camp. With the weights at heavyweight, you can get something from the weight, but I think both of these guys are consummate professionals and they're going to come in tip-top shape. So the weights and the stare down shouldn't really cause much of an issue. But yeah, pick coming soon. Changes to the channel coming soon. There's definitely a big change that's coming, and a lot of people are asking me for it, so I'm going to deliver on that one. And yeah, we're back to being consistent, and the motto from now on will be consistency, consistency, consistency. So thanks for listening, and we go again on the next one.